Greetings, greetings, greetings. Happy Sunday. Today is, what day is today? July 5th. Happy Sunday. And a lot has been happening in the world, in my world, in other people's worlds that I've been able to speak to. Last week was pre-recorded. I was doing a course, which I'll share more later on another show. And as I went through the week, because I was in the course, I was just really submerged in what I was doing and focusing on my work and clients and things like that. So I didn't really know what was happening in the world. And then I had a friend, like, did you see what's happening in Ghana? So we're talking about the soccer and the flood. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I called my sister friend in Ghana, Hamida, who is out there, and we had a bigger conversation. And I said, okay, the topic that was for today is going to shift to another day. And I said, I would like to bring this conversation on our live stream because it's always about conversation. Most of the people that are on here, I've had some conversations within a week or two of the show. It's like, yeah, let's bring this to the show. Some of the guests are scheduled and shifted and things like that and bumped because of emergent events like this one. And so I first want to send my love and condolences to those who had any loss, lost livelihoods, lost family members, lost their daily routine in all of the natural disasters that are happening. Venezuela, Cuba, there's earthquakes everywhere. People in England, Ghana had a flood. There's a lot happening, as well as people are losing jobs and things like that. So today is a day where we're going to look at particularly Ghana, but it's going to be holistic, how we can be of support and how we can be consciously when these things happen. Because everything that we think, everything that we feel, everything that we say and do contributes to nature and how nature responds. And it contributes to consciousness of others. So because we are interconnected and because we are all vibrational beings, I wanted us to touch on the importance of continuing to do meditation, because there's different ways to support, there's different ways to give. So we could give through holding space, we can give through meditation and prayer, we can give financially, we can give items, we can send items, we could donate to an organization that does items, we can give our time for volunteer. I know someone called me to said, yo, we got to go down and help. So there's different ways that we could go and support and also give high vibration to help ease the situation. So high vibration doesn't always mean kumbaya, positive. Sometimes it means that our frequency can shift an outcome. So, and in shifting that outcome, it can ease the experiences that one may have or that we may have. So I'm not so much of a person that's kumbaya, let's meditate, and I more action and know that there's action and inaction, meaning which holding space. Go like when there was the storm, the hurricane in Jamaica, immediately, I think within 24 hours, I was on a call every morning for meditation. So, and we know that some people were lessly impacted based on the work that we do. And some of the people, a part of that meditation, were in Jamaica themselves. I know that even in that, I was able to, I have family in St. Elizabeth, so that was something that I was able to be the best I can in that situation. So I know that I've seen both ways where vibration, holding space, and giving what you can shift the outcome of a situation. Yeah. So today's title is Trauma and Resilience. And I'm going to approach this as a energetic conversation. Greetings, beloved. I'm going to approach this as an energetic topic where we have the floods, we have hurricanes, we have storms, we have earthquakes. So let's look at that as trauma, but an energy. There's an energy force behind that. And then let's look at resilience. Resilience also carries a vibration. And so what can we do collectively to observe the trauma or live the trauma while knowing that the opposite spectrum, or if trauma is here on the same spectrum, resilience is here. And so this is not easy. This is actually not possible for someone in the trauma. Let me just be clear. At least for me, when I'm living through my situation, I'm in it. I was in a Fort McMurray fire. I was evacuated. I didn't know when I was going to go home in Northern Alberta. I actually didn't go home, so I had to relocate. There was a lot of losses, a lot of starting all over, finding all these resources, had to get a new bed, new everything, had nowhere to live. Thank God someone took me and my family in. So when you're in that state, you're not thinking about resilience. It's all about survival. It's all about the now, the now, the now, the now. So when I say trauma is on this side of the spectrum and resilience is here, what I'm talking about is those who are observing the trauma, the power you have. So the guest that we're going to have today is in Ghana, and she was sharing with me what was happening in the floods, the floods in Accra in Ghana. And so she's in it. I'm not going to expect her to be resilient. No. But the power that we have as observers, we can observe a thing. Thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. Yeah. So we can send out electrical waves like Wi-Fi signals to a particular situation. And if there's enough collective love, support, compassion, care, forgiveness, vibrations of resiliency and hope and encouragement, if there's enough pulsating to that event, whether it's a flood or an earthquake, what it does, it starts to shift the outcomes. So if these people lost everything, what happens is maybe the aid to them can get to them quicker. Maybe the lights on and power on can happen quicker. Maybe we could reduce the shock waves to their nervous system that causes trauma to perpetuate in your life. Maybe what we send, that healing frequency, it helps the nervous system. Yeah. So we don't know the how. That's up to the creator. That's not our business. Our business is to know what we're doing and why we're doing it. Yeah. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. So we're going to have Hamida. I know she's here, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm not going to dictate what it's going to be because it could go here or there. Okay, we're going to add her now. We're live from Ghana. Let's see. Okay. Hamida, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Greetings. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay today. Today I'm okay. Now I'm better that I get to see you.
Pardon? You are better.
Yes, I am.
I said you are better. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So you're in Accra right now. And so I was just giving an intro. I was just giving an intro of what we'll touch on today a little bit. And so we had a good conversation earlier this week, and I thought it would be good to continue and have some of that conversation live, because there were a couple things that we talked about. The tremendous devastation and loss that happened in Accra. We also talk about government structure, and government can do better, I guess. And people who have resources. But then I thought that what was interesting is the diaspora who says, oh, Africa is so sexy. I want to go. It's like this, oh my gosh, I want to go to Africa. I want to do this. But it's like people in Accra may have a different lived experience. Right? So those are some of the things that I know we talked about. There's other things we can take this conversation, but based on you, how are you doing? And how are you doing when observing the loss of these people, of their homes, their lives? Like, how are you doing?
Well, when it comes to me, how I am doing, well, I'm not taking it too well. It hasn't affected me personally, directly. But then it has affected close family, friends, and then the vulnerable. So in a way, even though I'm not directly affected, but then I have not taken it too well. Okay. So in Accra, that's the capital city of Ghana. Okay. So we have other towns as well. Well, the other places, some places have been affected. That is outside of Accra, but then Accra is the main. Is the main point where it has been affected. The impact is really huge in there, and that is why we are concentrating on only in Accra. Okay, so in the diaspora, if somebody wants to come, might not even come to Accra per se, maybe would want to go to another town, because Accra, when you come, you've come here before. When you come, I mean, you see the busy, choked, and all that, and that has also amounted to the problem we are seeing now. Okay, so if it's not even raining, even when it's not even raining, but then when you are going into town, the place is crowded. How to get a bus home, bus to work is difficult, So much to talk about the rains. Okay, so a whole lot has contributed to this, and we are all not taking it too well. And it's not the government, yes, but then it is also we too, as a people, we also have a role to play when it comes
Mhm.
to this whole situation. I mean, we all have to have a role to play when it comes to this whole situation. So me personally, is I have not taken it too well, and others who have not taken it too well. There's more to do. There's a lot of work to do when it comes to Accra living. Yes. So but that's what I can see now.
I know you were saying that uh, where you were working, you couldn't even go to work. Were you working with students or children? Or,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Working with children. So that morning, an announcement was given that if you knew that the route to where you'll be using to go to work um, would be flooded, then you should stay at home. And then we started seeing videos coming out where you see where it's normally busy workers using that road to work. It was flooded. It was so flooded. And then so if you had the information earlier as about around 6:37, you would stay home because you were looking at the water on your road going to work. And secondly, too, if you didn't have your personal car and you were going to use the public transport, trust me, you wouldn't get the public transport because they will not risk going there at all.
right,
Because
right,
what if they have already have a challenge with their the car, or we call it trotro. That's how we call it, trotro.
right.
So when you already have a problem, they are already on the roads looking problematic. Then they go to enter the water, you get stuck in there. So you just have to just stay home. Okay, so luckily I was my school was the school I'm teaching was closer. But then the pathway to where the path or the route to where I'll get to work was in a mess. Okay, so I had to keep leaping because of the muddy nature of the road, the bad natures of the road. I had to leap and then get to. By the time sometimes you get to work, you are looking soggy and muddy, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I got to work that day. But then getting to further into Accra, into the city, it was bad. So I think I had another job I had to go and do that day, but I didn't go because that's from moving to that place was going to be risky because I heard there was a certain spot that was um had flooded, so I couldn't have gone earlier back within the that day. I couldn't have gone there, so I didn't even attempt. When I finished teaching the children, I came back home and then I was just observing the news. And most Ghanaians didn't go to. Quite few didn't go. I can't say most, quite few, because those who had the message early didn't go. But those who went early before the message came went to work. And how they did is only God. But so there was that day was really a terrible day because it was a terrible day that day. Yeah.
So in in natural disasters, um, a lot of unknowns happen. And
Yeah.
if you're used to it, like um, my lived experience is very different. I was evacuated from a forest fire, one of the biggest forest fires that happened out here, Western Canada. And um, they had protocols in place, right? Because they're used to the forest fires.
Mm.
But even knowing about floods, knowing about hurricanes, knowing about earthquakes, knowing about it still hits very quickly and big, and the losses are big. So when we look at the magnitude of what is happening or happened, what are some of the key things that we should understand as observers to support? because right away some people may think, oh, send money to do. I seen it in Fort McMurray, people were sending, and what we need was a place to stay. We didn't even need food right away. We needed gas. Some of us ran out of gas on the way to safety, so we needed gas and shelter. We didn't need clothes, we didn't need food. Money couldn't help us right then and there, right? Eventually the money helped later once we were sheltered. You see what I say? Then we knew, because it was all of us. It was my whole family, right? Children, adults, and things like that. So what are some of the things that we should know about, be aware about, of if we wanted to support, or if we're considering, like, I had a friend's like, let's do a GoFundMe, but maybe that's not the first step. Maybe the first step is to meet with public health. I don't know. So based on, and you come from a wealth of education and knowledge and experience, based on what you observe, what should be some of the first steps, and what should we be considering when wanting to help?
I think what you should be considering is, yes, you would have to contact the appropriate authorities, like you said earlier on. But as observers, we need to observe more, because as it's all over the social media. We need to observe more as to what the people need. Okay, so sometimes it's just not, like you said, not money or anything. Yes, the money will come later, but then if you observe the social media, you realize that some have just lost their homes. They've just lost their homes. I mean, that's what you see right away. Recently, watching a woman, an elderly woman, is a middle-aged woman, her house was being broken down as a result that her house was standing on the waterway. I mean, that's the major problem. Another problem we are facing. I mean, if your house is standing on the waterway, it blocks. So they have to break it down. And now, mind you, now that is what the government is considering, breaking the houses that are on the waterway.
Wow.
So, yes, so some are being compensated. I don't know too much about that, but that when they are being broken down and you are on a waterway, there are certain times I hear, I don't know how true it is, but I hear that they are being compensated to move elsewhere. I don't know how soon is also being done when they actually do it. Yes. Right. So if you look on the upfront, you see that some immediately need shelter. Immediately they need shelter, because some are asking, where am I going to? Others are asking, there are more rains ahead, where are they going to put up? You get it? So up front, you see that most need shelter, but then it's also important to get across to the important authorities to know what they will need, immediately to help curb the situation immediately. So as we observe, we need to also get in touch with the authorities as well, so that we know. And also, I mean, speak to people. I mean, what do you need immediately and all that?
Yeah.
So that they know. Because we have forces like the NADMO.
NADMO?
Yes. Yes.
How do you spell that?
They are
NADMO. Oh, NADMO. Okay.
Yes. They are the people that when there are natural disasters, they come in to support. Okay, and when you watch the social media, realize that they are limited. They are limited in ways. They can't reach some places. They just can't reach some places. It is choked. The last time I was telling you, the place is so choked that, I mean, they can't even maneuver. Fire service might not be able to even maneuver.
Right.
So we as we observe, we realize, we know that, okay, these people need this upfront, and then we get in touch with the appropriate authorities that are also available. Okay, and then as we observe, we hear people also spill out their needs as well. I mean, these
Right.
all can make us help us make decisions to, I mean, see what they need immediately. Yes.
So listening to people is key, because I remember I could only I can't imagine what those people are going through, or any one of you out there, whether in Venezuela, Cuba, Ghana,
Yep.
even in Jamaica last year. Like, I know my lived experience, and I can understand lost and unpredictability, and
Mm,
to see within 24 hours where you're living is
mm,
just turned into ashes or flooded out
mm,
or crushed
mm,
because of an earthquake. And that is very, very devastating. And so listening to people is really important, because there was a lot given when it wasn't needed. So when we look at witnessing trauma or living the trauma or traumatic event, at what point, because the conversation I was having with a friend was, well, let's go give some trauma supports and mental health supports, right? Because that's kind of what he's a clinical therapist, right? And he's Ghanaian. And so
mm.
it was like, yeah, let's do that. And our intentions are very pure. But at what point do we start to insert resiliency and healing and hope? At what point does that help come in? Because we're observers, we're not in it, so we could be like, okay, let's be strong, let's go. But at what point do the people need encouragement and support and love and care? So now you said shelter when you witness, getting in touch with government and even nonprofit organizations and even other trusted organizations, especially the ones on the ground, then
Yeah.
circling back and listening to what people are saying. So now when we reach this point, is that when we can offer the mental health, emotional health? At what point do we do that?
Well, before, let me just use this example. When you go to a hospital and they want to check your blood pressure, yes, they tell you to sit down, get comfortable before they check that. Right?
Yeah.
So the same thing, we just have to get them a place to be comfortable, because not in the States, you might not necessarily have to um, would have to get them the place immediately, but then at a point where they have, yes, they are still grieving, they are
Right.
still grieving
Right.
losses and all that, yes, but if we are able to get them together and the support to get the trust, to get them to trust you, right? It's going to help, because some of them, I don't know how to describe how, is it the feeling or the emotions? Because one woman, I don't know how this woman, we are going to get her, but one woman had lost 18 shops.
18.
18.
Wow.
8, yes, in one day. So such a person, you just need to, I don't know how you're going to do, but you need to get her to be stable in
Yeah.
all sense.
That's a whole generational livelihood.
Yes, you need to get her stable. I mean, you need to, I don't know how you're going to get to her, but then, I mean, not to her personally, but you need
Yeah.
to get her to understand where you are coming from. I mean, get her comfortable to understand that you are here to help her, and just find a way of getting through her. So in this, with this kind of person, it's going to be tough. But then healing is a journey, and
Yeah.
if she's at a, she's, I mean, just her mind should be settled before you
Yeah.
get her. Yes.
And
So
how do you sometimes with such big losses, two things I've witnessed, and I have a friend whose father lost everything in another country. And the reason a lot of people who's lost millions of dollars of business, they would contemplate suicide, right? And the reason why his father didn't is they call it protective factors in mental health first aid. I teach mental health first aid. And so there's protective factors that helps with stress, catastrophe, trauma, anything that you car accident. So it's usually having an optimistic mindset, believing in something bigger than yourself, or having a good, healthy support system, right? Family, friends, whoever. So this individual's father had all three. So he probably went through depression and grieving and things like that, but he gained it back and was able to gain it back. So for those who have protective factors, then that can help when you go through a loss, right? What about for those who doesn't have a faith or a belief system? What happens to those who are not as optimistic? And what happens to maybe that lady? She was the only main person in her system, in her support system. Like there's no one really supporting her. She's supporting many. What can we do? And maybe this is a question for a therapist. I don't know, because there's different levels of grief. But on a practical level, you said what would be good is to get her calm in a calm state. But shock can make people go into temporary psychosis, right? So that needs real support. And because I really look at it from a African-centered lens, that's somatic work. We got to get her nervous system not hijacked. We got to get it calm, right? Whatever that is. It could be some drumming, getting people in once they're in a shelter. It could be sound, it could be movement, it could be chanting, it could be prayer, whatever it is. So getting her to the state of being calm, and this is not only her, this is many people, that in itself is hard. How do we calm somebody, especially from the diaspora, how do we get them feeling calm, feeling supported, feeling loved, feeling heard? How can we do that?
It all depends. For me, it depends on our actions for them to believe. Like I was saying, initially I was saying, you needed to gain their trust. Okay, from what, like you said, you have a good intention. You have a pure intention. That's the first. That's what you said. So they need to see that intention pure. Okay, whether Christian, whether Islam, I don't know, whatever faith some may be in, but then you need to get their trust. Then from there you can build it on. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, that is brilliant. Yeah.
If you are able to do that, then you can move from that, and that you can go through with everything you want to do. So that being said, you can touch whether the person is a Muslim, whether the person is a Christian, or any other faith. You get it? Because you are coming from a universal place with a pure intent. Yes. So if you come from a universal place with a pure intent, you are able to get whoever it is. So me being a Muslim or you being a Christian, you can touch anybody at all.
Yeah.
You get
because
it?
The intentions are pure.
Yes. You see, the person sees it right through you. The person sees it right through you and is able to tap into that, and it helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So would it be as like, let's say I want to offer support while I'm here in Canada, right?
Okay.
And would it be something that could be like, okay, coordinate with one of the shelters and do like a 1 hour lunch talk,
mm,
just to give people
mm,
space to talk and
mm.
share, like almost like a sharing circle or something like that, because we all think Western, right? Western, oh, let's
Yeah.
bring in some therapists and bring in, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying, but our DNA resonate in communal work. Our DNA,
Mm,
despite the religion, when we get together, there's a power that heals. And that is, that's not only from an African bloodline, that's all bloodlines. That is a
sure.
human DNA activation of healing. Communal
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
community gets people riled up, sometimes for the negative reasons for some people, but it's healing in power, right?
Mm,
And
mm,
so
mm,
would you say that's something that, and if we could do something like that, do you know of any agencies? I think we can talk offline and I'll put it in the description later of where people
mm.
can go, because we probably have to do some research to see who's trusted. But is that something that you think that we could start that could be helpful?
Hmm.
Because it almost
So
feels
now
premature.
I have seen religious bodies reaching out. When I watched observing, yes, I saw religious bodies reaching out. What you are talking about, trying to give the emotional support
Yeah,
and then also give how. Yes, so I don't know of that. I have seen the religious bodies move out, but I don't know of any agency um about what you are speaking about right now. I don't know of any agency right now. If there is, then I don't know about it. Yeah.
really,
So
that's
if
interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
if there's any, then I'm sorry, I don't know about it. Maybe I'm here to I will find out. Yeah, I'll find
Yeah.
out and let you know. Yeah, I'll find out and let you know. Because I know there are support groups, right? I know there are support groups. And I'm sure some are doing some in their own way,
Yeah.
small in their own way we have not seen yet. I'm sure some are doing.
Of
Yes,
course.
plus the
Yeah.
religion. Yeah. Uh-huh. But then for something like you are saying, releasing the mental to get them off the trauma, move on, and then heal from what I haven't seen that kind yet. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If maybe there's some, then I am here to know and I'll find out about it. So we coming out with this is a good start, right? Is a good start. But with the online, I don't know how. Maybe it could be possible. It could be possible. We can try it. Okay. There's going to be a way out, right? So
Yeah.
if we can start, that's fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Considering that we are going to contact the appropriate authorities to get involved, why
Yeah.
not? Yeah,
Uh,
it's possible.
there was a saying that you said that your mother said,
Yeah.
um, before you buy a property, see how it does through the flood. Something. Can you repeat that?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, she said, yeah, she was, well, when she heard about it, she was ranting, complaining, like, now you need to buy a land, you need to get to it, you need to buy it during the rainy season. So you see how it goes. That was what she was saying. Yes.
Right.
And mind you, when we were much younger, I think I was in grade 2. My younger brother was in grade 1. And we were living in Accra. And there
Hmm.
was a heavy down. I don't know how, I don't know what happened, but I knew that our home was flooded.
Oh wow.
Yes, our home was flooded, and I think the water was to the the waist of my parents, so they had to pick. I remember they had to pick us up out to go
Oh
and live with a friend, you know.
yeah.
So from that day onwards, my family, especially my dad, doesn't like even a waterlogged area. he doesn't want to see it. So when there's flood, maybe you want to, when you have a house and then he comes and he sees that there's flood. I mean, he doesn't want to see it. He doesn't like it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why my mother is saying, with this current situation, she will tell you that you need to buy a land.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to buy a land, then do it on a rainy season. I mean, that is the mantra of Ghanaians now. I don't
Yeah.
know for the other countries. Yes, now you need to buy it in the rainy season. You need to
Yeah.
go and look out and see how it does. Because my
When
friend, a colleague also told me that they bought a house dry season. Yes, so she had a home. They had a house in Accra. Sold that house, came and bought another house. So when they bought the house during the rainy season, it was terrible. They had to rent another place and then move again. Now, how to get that house sold is a problem. This is the last week conversation. So right now, their money, they are stuck. And as she speaks to me now, their rent is due about 2 months, and they
yeah.
have not got anybody to buy or sell that house to, which is situated in it's just across where I live, just
Right.
in the middle of water.
Wow.
Yeah. So now that is it. If you need to buy a line, you need to do it during the rainy season.
I thought I thought that was so powerful because that's like such a powerful metaphor. If you're
Yeah.
going to let's say commit to a friendship or a relationship, you
Yeah.
don't in what that analogy is saying, you don't put everything in until you go through the bad times,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I can't really say, oh, I'm healed because I did the work until I'm tested with another bad
Mm,
time.
mm,
When I'm tested with someone who tried to insult me or abuse me or belittle me or and
mm.
see how my response is. Or
Yes. Mm,
even see that I've healed so much that I don't attract those situations or whatever the
mm.
case may be, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
metaphor is very, very because we all want to do the most in the sunny season. We want to
Yeah.
we want to buy this, we want to go there. What about the rainy seasons?
There
Are
was-
we
yeah.
preparing our mind, our soul, our thoughts, our actions, our life for rainy seasons? Because it's
Yeah.
inevitable. If it happens in nature, it's going to happen in your life. Are we
Mm,
prepared with tools of love, of forgiveness, of harmony? Do we have a social support system? Do we have somewhat of a financial system to say, okay, when things get heavy, I may not be able to deal with these things, but I can deal with the basis of, you know what I'm saying? Or if we are parents, if my child is special needs or super gifted, or do I have the capacity to deal with a child that may be different? Right? I think in anything and everything, and there's one more thing I'm going to bring up and after this, but in anything and everything, I think it's important to know the rainy seasons. Oh, she just hopped off. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to bring up that we spoke about, and she'll jump back in, is we talked about how everyone, oh, here we go. We're going to add her back to the stage. Yeah, there we go. Hi.
yeah.
So,
Hello.
that was just a good lesson for me because
Yeah.
I always look at things kind of deeper than what it is
Yes. Yes.
before
Yes.
we jump into anything, are we prepared for the rainy seasons
Mm,
in
mm,
a friendship, in a marriage? And once I could see, oh, is this person prepared for the rainy season? for the business. If I'm going in a business partnership, is this person ready for the rainy season? If I see red flags, then I'm not going to do it. Right. So that when you said that, that just brought so much different meaning. Before you purchase a home in Ghana, know it's rainy seasons, I think you said.
Yes.
And yes. The other part that we spoke about that I thought was so good is how people's like, oh, I want to go to Ghana, I want to do this. But what are some of the truths about Ghana that people don't know about, that we should know about, that's happening on that side of the world? Around employment, around business, around the culture, because everyone just sees what we see on TV. Like, oh my gosh, I want to go to Ghana, I want to go to Africa. But there are some hard truths there about people living there.
Yeah.
Right? So what are some of the things that we should actually know about that they don't promote online?
Okay, so I would want to understand your question better. So, are you talking about those coming in, the truth they should know to enable them live well or to cope with our situation, or the truth about how we are living?
Oh, that is okay. Wow. Okay. Maybe both.
Okay.
For I was actually trying to allude to how Ghanaians are living on a whole, because we see a big spectrum online, right?
Yeah.
We see people have money and they have cooks and cleaners and drivers and blah, blah, blah. And then we see people in the market surviving, right? So there's a huge disparity there. And it's like, if I want to move to Ghana, what is it I need to know that's on the ground? I want to know how people are truly living. In Jamaica, I know because I have family out there, right? But in Ghana, how are people actually living out there?
For the normal man, like you said, the normal man, I said initially, in Accra is the main capital. Okay. It depends on what the individual is coming to do in Ghana. So I'm sure some might research and would want to know where they can live, do business, get their children to school if they want to come and live here permanently and start a business and all that. So for Accra, like I said, it's choked, right? It's choked. And that's what is bringing all this.
What do you mean by that? When you say it's choked, what do you mean by that?
The infrastructure, we have a lot of people living here. And then, the main problem is everything is in Accra. Almost everything is in Accra.
Oh, okay. So it's overpopulated.
Yes, overpopulated. And then the reason why most people would want to come to Accra is that is where all the business, everything is happening. We have good schools in other regions. We have good businesses in other regions. We have good places in other regions. But then the main thing is that everything is happening in Accra. Others will think that, okay, Accra is the main city, so I would want to live in Accra. I get the hype. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think that everybody and his reason for living in Accra, maybe a job, a career is in Accra. I can only get it in Accra, so I have to move to Accra.
Okay.
Maybe the market I need is in Accra. I would have to move to Accra. So we are all squeezed, overpopulated, squeezed, tight in here. Right? So for me, if you move to other regions, it's not like that. You get it. Other regions, some are a bit calmer. If you go to my hometown like this, a bit calmer. You can walk from one place to another without feeling tired or meeting a huge car or um, buses honking in your ears and all that. And then you feel less calmer and then less tired. But in Accra, just from one place to another, just 5 minutes, you're already tired because you have to
Yeah,
maneuver your way, cross, that kind of very busy. So
very
you're
busy.
already tired one place to
Yeah.
another. Yes. So living in Accra is stressful, and you need to be strong. You need to be strong to be here. And then if it's business, you need to be stronger because there are lots of markets. What you want to the services, then unless the services you are going to render or whatever you are going to produce is unique, right? Because there's a lot happening here. Everybody is trying to get the clients, the people, the
Oh,
customers. You
yeah.
need you spend much more in everything. One tuber of yam might cost today last you might cost very small tuber of yam, just a medium size, might cost 35 Ghana cedis or
Mm-hmm.
will cost or it's 35 Ghana cedis. But when you go to another region, maybe perhaps my region, it might not cost that way. You get
Mm-hmm.
it? It won't cost that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And even the areas in Accra will determine the pricing of an item. So if
Wow.
I should buy a bottle of water in my area, could be let's say 4 cedis. If I go inside Accra, it might be 7 cedis or 8 cedis or 10 cedis.
So Accra is like the hype where everybody wants to be. But
Sure.
there's so much more to Ghana, and there's so much more spaces and that are populated that you can live, you could survive, you can thrive, you can still have a
Yeah.
business, you could bring your children to school. So that I think in the diaspora, it's like everybody when they said US, they think about LA and New York,
Mm,
or
mm.
Florida.
Ah,
Like they just think about,
exactly,
they don't think about Wyoming. They don't think about other places,
exactly.
Seattle or
Yeah.
whatever. Same thing with Canada. Everyone's big on Toronto, Toronto. I moved many, many, many years ago across from Toronto to another part, the other side, and the population was lower, the cost of living was lower, traffic was great,
It's the
and
same
it
thing.
was more
Yeah,
calm.
yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah.
And yeah, well, that's good to know. I want to ask before we wrap up, um, when it comes to, I have it written down here, but I think I want to switch it. When it comes to us as people from different continents, different countries, and but we have similar intentions, similar goals, similar mindset, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the main thing that we can do to stay connected and stay together in good times or bad times? What is something that you like if we want to pull together and be united in different continents, different countries? What are maybe the top two things that we need to actively do
Mm.
to stay together and connected? Because that's how the help and support comes. We have social media, but real sustainability, real community, family, what is it that we can do, in your opinion, that can actually make us, you know, together stronger? Maybe two things. That's a big
Yeah.
question.
So yeah. So um, what we can do as a people here or is in the continent, what we can do for me basically, just like you and I, you sometimes reach out to me as I sometimes reach out to you. For me, I don't think it's anything big, right? But then the way we reach out to each other, I mean, offer kind words, good words, encouragement. I think that is what should be the start of everything, right? It should be the start of everything. So if we can reach out to each other, just like, when you realize that we had a flooding situation, you reached out. Others also reached out to me to ask if I was doing okay. Right? I didn't hear the first. I didn't hear from her for a very long time, but she reached out to me. I don't know the state she's in, but the province is she's also in Canada, but I don't know. That was a classmate. She reached out to me and asked whether I was also doing well. I said, "Oh, I'm fine." I hadn't heard from her for a very long while, but because she saw what was happening, she reached out. You get
Wow.
it? So it starts from there. And the second, as you are saying, as you are trying to put together, if there's any help you can offer, you are good to go, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
help. If there's help you can offer, you that is you can ask the person, is there anything I can do to solve, which you mostly ask? Is there
Mm-hmm.
anything I can do to the person might let you know that this is what I can do, this is what you can do to support me. And if maybe he or she can't help, maybe you can find ways of means to help that
Mm-hmm.
person, right? I mean, the physical interaction and then showing something to let the person know that, yes, you are there for the person, creates that first connection, creates that link between you and that person, for that person to know that, okay, I am loved, I'm supported. That person can
Yeah.
open up more to know that this is what and what is happening to me.
Yeah.
And you can also gather the support you also have. Maybe you might not have to do it individually. You might also want to contact friends and family to also
Right.
help you help that person or a community, just as you are trying to do. So first, the speaking, that's the talking stage. Then if there's anything you can do extra, that is giving out whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to someone to support, I mean, why not? That alone, we can hold on to each other.
Yeah.
The other person at the other side will feel safe enough to hook up onto you, you know, for that support. So that connection will be there. Yeah.
I think it's so important to remember we're all human and
Yeah.
we need each other.
Yeah.
And I was saying this week, I said, literally, I think it was just Thursday, I said, the receiving is in the giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Receive love, care, passion, whatever. It's
Mm,
in the
mm,
giving, it's the way we serve. And
yeah.
as humans, one of the best things that I love about my life and about people is I naturally serve. I'm in the service
Yeah.
industry world. I'm in human services, right? So I'm in that,
Yeah. Yeah.
even career. And there's many times in my life where things just happen like that. And I may not have had the credentials, I may not have had the resources, but it still came to me and I was still able to do it. And I know it came from the way I gave and the way I serve. And as human beings, we just want to know that we're being seen and we're being heard.
Yeah.
So if there's, when we look at trauma and resilience, I think it's really important just to care. Just
Mm,
just care for one
yeah.
another. Just
Yeah.
care for yourself because I know you do your best to support yourself so you can support your children and your family and then support other women
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
others. So if I on the surface level, it may look like I'm supporting you, but you're supporting your family and set of
Yeah.
women. So it's
Yeah.
it's a ripple effect. So serving
Yeah.
you, and that's where I think my blessings may come from. I have a client, I go a little bit above and beyond for the client, and all of a sudden I go out for lunch and the owner says, you know what, your lunch is on me, don't worry, order what you want.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what
Yeah.
happened, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to encourage everyone as we go through these times. I didn't get too much into the metaphysical and the astrological things that are happening in space that are influencing some of these natural disasters, but we'll probably do that on another show. I just wanted to have the conversation with you so people can
Yeah.
hear live, literally, like what's happening, and how we could be involved. I'll talk to you offline and get maybe names of places that we can put in the description for those who rewatch. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Hamida, for taking your time. You're 6 hours ahead, so I don't even know what time it is for you. It's in the evening. It's dinner time, I think.
5:30.
Yeah, it's dinner time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I just want to encourage you. You're welcome. Encourage you to continue to be authentically yourself.
Yeah.
I've seen you in different stages of yourself. Yeah. And every stage was authentic. And I mean, we connected in 2015. So
yeah,
that's when we first connected.
Oh, yeah, 2015.
Yeah, it's 2015 when we first connected. And it was just different stages of our lives together, right? So I want everyone to build meaningful connections with people. Be intentional when you meet someone at the grocery store, at the gas station. We haven't even met physically yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
no.
I haven't yet.
Yes, that's true.
Yet, right? We've just shared pictures and talk, and so, and it's like a sister from another mister, you know?
Yeah.
So I just want to encourage everybody. We're in such hard times as it is. Go out there, fill your cup with self-love, self-kindness, self-care, caring for yourself so that you have that to pour into others. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some other things that might be able to happen with you. I know someone brought some ideas up on how to send some support there. So I'll follow up with him and see if we can connect with you. Yeah?
Okay.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.